Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sunny, and I have ADHD with OCD tendencies. And I don't know why I just pointed at you. But anyway, so that means I can struggle with overwhelm and perfectionism, as well as taking control of my environment. And today I'm challenging myself to step out of that by building a house in The Sims where I'm going to spin a wheel and not have a say in the aesthetic. Like I'll have a say in where things go and of course like use my own creative eye to put things together, but ultimately a wheel is going to be choosing what the aesthetic is. In today's video, we're going to finish up this house. So we're going to spin the wheel a couple times and hope that we land on some really good and quirky things. I mean, I'm trying to add, this is editing Sunny here. I'm trying to act like I don't know what's happening, right? I've watched the whole thing. I know you're going to love it. I'm so excited to show you some of the aesthetics that come through. And also, I have to apologize, the sound. It has been a hot couple of weeks. We had a heat wave here, and so you might hear my air conditioner in the background. If you have your volume turned on just enough to hear my voice, the background noise is quite minimal. But if you're kind of blasting it, maybe you're cooking, maybe you're doing something else, and you just enjoy the atmosphere of having something on, first of all, thank you for me having the opportunity to have that engagement and to be in your living room. How awesome. Or you're hopefully not your bedroom. I mean, that's awkward in some circumstances. But anywho, yeah, so apologies for the background noise. And let's get into today's video. Let's spin the wheel. Like I said, I just really don't know what's going to show up. I almost want to close my eyes. Is it there? Tell me when it's there. Pastel goth. I'm very curious because that might actually work with like the same paneling that we have in the kitchen. So let's say it's a living room. Okay. Very dark kind of fairy vibes. I'm still seeing some paneling going on, which is very cool. I think we can make this happen. Let's go back into the game and see. I'm gonna switch my camera to the Sims 4 camera. And okay, so we've got the kitchen up here, in case you didn't get a good look at that. That's our kitchen, and then we've got this little entryway, which maybe I'll save as like a different aesthetic, and then we've got this living room area here. Now I'm gonna see if I can find a more gothic type aesthetic when it comes to the paneling. I just want to move this plant out of the way. It's just sticking out a little bit, so let's move you back there. There we go. Okay, so a gothic type living room aesthetic. Let's look into some paneling. I'm gonna put my filters onto dark brown, black, and pink and see what comes up. I mean, I definitely feel like this is a little bit more gothic compared to the kitchen. I may have gotten the inside of the bathroom by accident. I didn't. That's weird. Well, I'm surprised. Let's just say that. Because these aren't considered real rooms, I have to go one by one, I think. I don't think there's currently an option in The Sims. Like, I think this will just paint everything. Or I could have blocked this area off, painted the walls, and then removed the ones I didn't need. But I'm thinking the entryway could be a little bit of a different aesthetic. But we'll see. Like, honestly, the blue door looks really good with this color. And then the kitchen's all like nice and pink. I really like this. Okay, I'm going to use the same chandelier as we have here. So I'm gonna grab that and we're gonna use it in the living room. I'm also gonna get rid of this little pot light that's there. And I'm kind of curious if this comes in a different color. Ooh, that's really cool. I think I'm gonna go with this just to make it look a little bit different. I'm even considering changing the one in the kitchen to that one. But I think if we went with black, like I just feel like it's so dark for this area, but I also kind of like it. You know what? Let's keep it. This feels like that aesthetic where it's like, you know, where you see the two different friends and it's like one friend is all pink and hot pink and colorful and everything, and the other one's a little bit gothic. Yeah. I think I'm gonna keep, because the theme is pastel goth, so I think I'm gonna keep the flooring all throughout, and then we can accentuate the goth aspects with carpets. So I do want to see if there's a spot for a fireplace because I feel like that would be so cozy. If we have to remove a window, I suppose we can. Let's see. Like having a nice big fireplace would be so beautiful here. I'm gonna remove this window, and then I think for the sake of consistency I'm going to replace that window with one of these. Let's take a look at this fireplace head on because I do like the colors, but I feel like there might be a better option. Ooh, I like that. It's like nice and warm. I also really like that. I'm gonna go with the lighter version because maybe that can speak to a little bit of the pastel aspect. And then I'm thinking that a lot of the furniture is pink. We can furnish it quite beautifully with all of that. And let's do the curtains first. These ones are a little bit more modern. Oh, I kind of like those. Okay, I think it's safe to say that this is a pastel blue. So I'm gonna copy these ones. And then I think there's a nice curtain that can go on the inside. Oh my god, those are so pretty. I know for a fact that there's a really pretty Victorian type pink couch. Like, I think something like this would be so fun. This lighting is making it a little bit more yellow than we think it is. There we go. We have the lights figured out, so you can see that the couches are a little bit more pink. This one is definitely more pastel, so we are gonna go with this couch. How lovely would it be to like just sit here and look out the window and oh, it would be so beautiful. I kind of like it this way where it's like there's just two chairs. I'm going to even move this further over. We can even have a bookshelf over there, and I'm picturing like a big pastel rug. I think I know the perfect There's that one, but there's also a sheepskin. For all the vegans out there, it's faux sheepskin. Oh, it is too. Haha. For a second I was like, I thought I was wrong, but ooh, that's really pretty. Like, what if we did that? We have some trans flag colors going on here. I kind of really like this. This is really cool. And I like that it still has pink pillows. I guess we're going with that. Even though I really did picture pink furniture, I just don't know if there's another pastel colored rug, and I didn't want to go looking for it. I mean, I think this is probably the closest to Gothic type architecture, or architecture, but like aesthetic, not architecture, that we're going to get. I don't know about the second one, but I'm thinking of just leaving it there for now. I'm having a time today with that Sims 3 camera, so I don't know if I will use it. Let me see. Sometimes this view is just a lot easier. Yeah, that could totally work. And then I'm thinking some kind of large pastel artwork, if we can find it, for above the fireplace. I don't think this is like a TV type living room. Although I think there's a picture frame TV somewhere. I think I'm gonna go with this picture frame style thing. I know I wanted like one big photo, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to find that.
Five hours later.
I just realized I'm like so hunched over trying to trying to do this. It's pastel. Okay, there's our photo wall. Does that look crazy? I feel like that's too crazy. I feel like I've gone overboard. Oh my god. You like take a step back and you're like, oh shit, what have we done? I think it looks a little too crazy. I didn't realize how overboard I went. I know for a fact there's like fireplace clutter somewhere. They're like the poker things. I don't actually know what they're called. It's like to poke the fire. You know, during the winter months when you watch the thing, and then I don't even have words right now, honestly. Like, I'm trying to say that do you know how in the wintertime you watch the guy who is the guy or the girl or whoever is stoking the fire, and you know, every now and then he comes by and like puts a thing in the fire and like make sure it's going and all of that stuff. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Anyway, I'm just gonna add some pillows to the couch, and I just noticed this chair and this table are totally going into each other. Like, how did I even design this? You know what I mean? I'm gonna add a little pink pillow on each of these seats just to make it look a little bit cozier. I don't think they're actually functional, like, in the game, unfortunately. I think a plant could actually go really well right here in the middle. Just something to break up the room a little bit. A jar of olives. How random. That is so bizarre. So bizarre. Fancy water. Okay. We might as well make it look like someone lives here. It's like you've got all this really nice Victorian aesthetic, and then you just have this, like, I went to New York or wherever statue. I think that's so cute. Pastel goth. Pastel goth. I don't know, a little hand to do some palmistry. This is kind of fun. I'm not sure if that fits in with a pastel goth aesthetic. Lots of flowers, lots of roses, lots of pillows. My partner's calling, so I gotta stop recording for a second, okay? Hey, it's editing Sunny here. Hot couple of weeks. We had a heat wave here, and so you might hear my air conditioner in the background. If you have your volume turned on just enough to hear my voice, the background noise is quite minimal. I forgot to take you through the tour of the pastel goth living room. How could I? Things happen. Thankfully, now you know I'm human and not AI. So fear not. I will take you through the tour of everything towards the end of this video. But I'm sure you'll be really excited to hear what the next aesthetic is. Let's go. Okay, I know you can't tell, but it's a new day. I'm in the same shirt and I've got my Y2K pin in, my hairpin. I'm so excited about it. And I want to see just like what has been done so far. And if I want to spin the wheel again, like take the chance for this little area of the house and for it to be a total mess, because there's definitely a potential for that. For example, if we spin and it's like psychedelic, like that would probably be my worst nightmare for this section. Or do I just tie everything in, tie it all together? Mind you, we still have the bathroom, so let's take a spin and see what happens. And if it's a similar aesthetic, I might, do the entranceway, and if it's something really far off, I might do the bathroom. So let's take a spin and see what happens. All right, so we've got the wheel. We're gonna spin again. Every time I feel like closing my eyes, I'm like, oh no, like what's gonna happen? We're in the goblin core. What is goblin core? I'm learning about so many different types of aesthetics during this, and my ADHD brain is so happy. Oh my god, goblin core. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of like dark academia, study, very Capricorn vibes, I have to say. Like there's a lot of like nature inspired stuff, mushroom inspired, even in this clothing aesthetic, it's like very naturey, grounded, mushrooms, earthy, dark kind of color schemes of browns and greens and some olive tones, as well as some plaid. Shout out to gays. Goblin core, let's see. This says an aesthetic based on the appreciation of aspects of nature that are not typically regarded as beautiful. So like maybe bugs and beetles. These aspects can range from animals such as frogs and snails to materials such as moss, mud, plants, and fungi such as mushrooms. Okay, first of all, I think moss is so beautiful. It is. Every time. Okay, quick story time. Megan and I were at this park in really this small short hike on Vancouver Island, and there's a little waterfall there, and there's a little river kind of that the waterfall like goes into. Not really a river, it's more of a creek. And right across, if you're willing to cross through the very cold water, was this beautiful slab of rock, and it looked like nobody had ever sat on it, and it was completely covered in moss. Like, this thing looked like it was so comfortable, a fairy would sit on it. And the next time her and I went there, the moss had overgrown even further. It looked even comfier. And I had the thought, I was like, oh my God, I want to go sit there. And there was a younger girl who was there with, I think her boyfriend or her friends and family, and she went to sit there. And I was like, oh my God, she had the same thought. And so after she kind of left to finish off the hike, I went there. Megan and I both sat on this beautiful rock and just enjoyed the scenery. And it's a really quiet, peaceful place. And also, it can feel like you're in a bit of a fishbowl if there's other people on the other side watching you, because typically that's where you would stand to just watch the creek run and the waterfall. So anyway, quick story time. But I love frogs. I love snails. I was always fascinated by snails when I was a kid. Even mushrooms. I obviously didn't know that these were poisonous when I was a kid, but anytime I saw the red ones with the white dots, I think they're called something muscaria. Anahata muscaria? I don't know. I could be totally wrong. But anyway, when I ever saw those in cartoons, I thought it would be such a comfy place for like a little mouse to make a house, or a little fairy to live in, or, like my imagination ran wild. So I'm really into this aesthetic. There's also like the goblin core witch, which is like mushroom queen, will dry literally any form of foliage they find just to see what happens, specializes in potions, likes to take a swim in the local stream. Wow. Stream, yeah, like we were just talking about that. Okay, very cool. So what if we were to apply goblin core to interior design? Let's see what that looks like. Like, I can kind of imagine it. So this speaks to goblin core being a very enchanting aesthetic. I don't know if this is AI. It kind of looks like it, but it's showing a lot of plants, a lot of greenery, very, very nature inspired. Whereas some ideas, this also looks like AI, is a little bit more like on the darker side of things. So I am definitely getting inspired to do that like entryway. Oh my gosh, how beautiful is this? Oh darn, it like leads to an Amazon thing. But anyway, I was just inspired by this image. I really love the photo itself. I think that would be a really cool like solarium type idea. This is, oh my gosh, another sponsored ad. Are you kidding? Very Slytherin kind of vibes. This is really cool because I feel like this encapsulates and captures the vibe very nicely. I'm almost tempted to make this the bathroom just to see what we could do with it, and to challenge myself a little bit. And then we'll see what we can figure out for the entryway. So let's go ahead and do the bathroom, decorate the bathroom in goblin core. I'm very, very excited for this. Let me just switch my screen. There we go. I am so excited to try this out. I am going to be filming from this end, so hopefully you can kind of see and understand everything that I'm doing. So this is the front door here, and we're going to be going in there. It's just a lot easier to design and decorate from this point. So first and foremost, let's start with the walls. Like, I already know that I want a deep green, similar to the green that we had upstairs. I think, oh my God, like how pretty is that? This is also very pretty, and like the way that the light bounces, I feel like it accentuates the light through the windows, and it's so pretty. Like, look at that. Just, I've always been fascinated by sunlight through a window, and like I don't necessarily focus on the shadows it casts sometimes, but I more so focus on the light and would do like little animal hand puppets when I was a kid. So let's do this. I'm picturing that the flooring is very ooh, that one was kind of cool, but I feel like, oh, that's really neat actually. Okay, So we'll try that one out. But I was also picturing something brown, something, a little bit darker. Because I know for sure that there's like a moss type rug, which is really cool. This is the same feel. Basically, it's the same tile that we have in the foyer here and the living room, except it's a different color. I kind of like that idea. I think that's a really cool concept. So I'm going to keep that. And let's see if we can find curtains that don't cover this area up too much, because I really want to, let's see if I can, oh, I don't have my cheats turned on. Hold on. If you're new to The Sims, testing cheats on turns on all the cheats, and then I do bb.move objects, and that turns on the ability to be able to press option and move the plant a little bit further. So I'm just going to take the plant and just move it so that it's a little bit more outside. There's a little bit more sticking out, but I'm just not going to touch that for now. But yeah, I'm picturing a lot of things kind of on this little windowsill here. I'm not actually sure how far that windowsill goes in. It seems like it's right at the floor level, so that's very interesting. Huh. Let's see what this looks like on the outside. Oh, it's one of the bigger windows. Okay. So it just gives me a little bit more of an area to play with when it comes to maybe being able to add some trinkets and things. I feel like that would be really cool. Okay, maybe for now, just to make things easier, let's pick the bathroom essentials that we need. So I'm gonna see if I can find what is it called? A throne of stone. That's hilarious. So, I mean, that would be very nature-based. So this is an option. This is like very magical. I think that would be really, really cool to have in there. I don't know what the difference between... It's a portal potty. Wait, is it an actual portal? When you gotta go, you gotta go, you know? But, and it spells it with two T's. What if you gotta go and get to another parallel dimension in a flash? Just flush. The portal potty is the fastest and most luxurious way to go. Voted number 2 time-traveling toity of the year by Home and Lou magazine. Plus, it's got plenty of legroom and a lid that doubles as a panini press. No, thank you. Trust me, it's the plum, I tell you. Please remember to wash hands before returning to the present dimension. That is crazy. There's also these kind of like the Call of Nature fairy ones, but I feel like that's maybe a little too on the nose. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick this gold one, and I'm gonna see, does it come in other colors? Let's kind of see. I'm picturing maybe the person that lives here turns into, like, they're magical creatures in The Sims, which is like one of the reasons I like playing The Sims, and you can turn into like a spellcaster or something like that. Actually, I don't know if that's possible, but I'm assuming like, anybody can turn into any type of creature depending on what happens. So like, I'm just picturing, if somebody in The Sims dies, they become a ghost and they can haunt you, or if you get bit by Vlad, then you become a vampire, or like, yeah, there's an actual vampire. Anyway, so let's pick all the essentials. I'm assuming that somebody can just become a spellcaster. I think that would be so much fun. Let's see if there's a sink that matches this aesthetic. So, I mean, that looks a little bit newer. That could potentially work, but I think there's an actual sink that matches the vibe we're going for, Ooh, that's fun. I don't know if you remember, this is reminding me of an aesthetic that I used to, I was obsessed with everything tiki / Hawaiian style / like if you're going on a tropical vacation. My screen was also the tropical like Windows XP screen. Literally 90% of the time is what I had it. So this sink is reminding me of that. And it's also what I would, like, 90% of my Sims builds were built in that aesthetic, which was hilarious. Okay, let's see if there's, I think this is the matching sink, if I'm not mistaken. I could totally be mistaken. Hold on. Maybe this pack doesn't come with a sink. I feel like that would be quite silly if it didn't. Is this the sink it comes with? I mean, that looks kind of crazy, right? So this has a little book icon for the spellcaster. So if I go to all of the icons and find that little book icon, we might be able to find... Oh, it is the one. Yeah. So, okay. Interesting. Okay. I mean, this thing is like excessive, right? But it's also kind of cool and kind of fun, and it comes in pink. Oh, that's so pretty. But I'm gonna stick with the same color scheme. And I don't know if we'll be able to fit a shower in here. Probably not, but you never know. So I think what I'm going to do is, initially I was gonna put the toilet here because it's a little bit more private, it's away from the door. But I'm also thinking that the sink could go there, or perhaps a shower. I don't know. Let's see how much room we have when this is all up. Like, I feel like the toilet could easily go into this little corner, and we can put a plant in there. I know it's a little weirdly shaped, but a plant could easily fit in there. And then I think I can actually fit a shower down the hallway, which would be ideal because it can be so annoying to... I'm like, do we have bathrooms upstairs? We do, but each of them are in the rooms, I think. So let me just see what this sink looks like on an angle. It looks okay. Yeah, it looks like it would be usable. And there's definitely room to get around, I feel like. Yeah, I just feel like I can't push the toilet much more further in. I don't think like that's usable. So yeah, let's see if it comes with a shower, or if a shower even fits in there. Oh, it does come with a shower. Ooh, that's very fun. Like here, it looks like it was intentionally placed, you know? Okay, so we're gonna go with a shower. You know what? I could change the placement of this door. Like, I know that I really wanted the door to be there just because it looks really cool. But what if this door was right here? And that kind of separates the bathroom area. I can fix these candles later. Oh man, that is bothering me. The candles are bothering me. And then we have more room to play around with the sinks. Like, I could add 2 sinks instead of 1. You know? I think that's the bueno way to go. It's really good. And then we have access to the shower, which is perfect. The other place we could put the door is on this wall, but I kind of like the door there. I think what I'm gonna do is flip the door so that you're not... Wait, does that work? Because then it opens this way. The other place to put the door is right here, which is kind of awkward, I think. Is it? I don't know. Let's see what's happening on the other side of this wall. Not much, really. I think I'd like to keep that spot there for towels, is what I'm telling myself, because I've already moved the door once. So let me fix these lights because this is driving me nuts. And painting could go here. So let me... No, I'm gonna stop myself. We're getting into ADHD territory and control. Take a deep breath. I'm like a red panda where she's like, come come. Okay, we're gonna finish the bathroom because now I'm getting other ideas for here, and it's, you know, I'll come back to it. Let's replace this light. Perhaps there's something a little bit more, you know, naturey, and then we can come back to all of the plumbing and everything. I keep accidentally grabbing this rug. And then I think this picnic table is from outside, so I'm just gonna, okay, there we go. I just noticed that there was something in my inventory and I was like, what the heck? Objects by function, lighting. Okay, let's see if there's like a naturey type lamp, something maybe moss inspired. This literally has a plant attached to it. Okay, that's kind of cool. Then there's this festive ceiling light. My intuition says that that's not the one for right now, so I'm just gonna delete that. Some clouds, which is kind of nature related. What is that? That looks like a mason jar. Okay. And it comes in like threes as well. Oh, it is a mason jar. Okay. Cool DIY. Okay, let's see if there's anything else that's kind of naturey related. I want to see if this can resize, because I feel like that's a little bit too big for the bathroom. And if it comes in a different color. Maybe something a little bit toned down. You know when mushrooms are growing on the side of a tree? That's totally what this reminds me of. So this is definitely hitting more mushroom territory, that one there. Okay, we're gonna go with that one. Very nice, very cool. And then let's get some mirrors on the wall. What did I just take? I keep taking that rug by accident. It's just in a spot where it's like easy to grab. Okay. Rugs in bathrooms. I don't agree with it. I think it's weird. I don't think it should be happening. It's weird for me because I'm like, this is the center of the bathroom, you know, where it's like there's this big light. But also everything in me is like, put it there. We're gonna leave it there. I'm not dealing with it. And then personally, for my neurodivergent heart, it would be like too much to have, like we currently have a light in the ceiling of our actual shower and it is crazy bright. It is so bright. It's too much. So let's go by room for now. Let's do the mirrors. Ooh, these are fancy. Oh, they're so tiny. Okay, maybe something a little bit bigger. That's definitely like a mirror I would have had in my teen room. Also, I don't know if you know those like wavy mirrors from IKEA, but I definitely had that in my room. It was cool because you could like place them any way that you wanted, which was really neat. Okay. There's also like that big of a mirror. If you're hearing sounds in the background, that's totally my dishwasher. This is really cool because I could see this being very nature inspired, this mirror right here. So I'm gonna see if I can stick this on the wall. And this is why that little like, I can't tell if it's going behind. Let's see if I can, oh, I can lift it up. Okay, I think that's the center. Seems like it is. That would drive me more often than not. Like the craziest is if a mirror is hanging off center to your sink. Oh my God, like it would drive me crazy. Look how pretty this is. Like you can, I know it's not ideal having like this big a window for your bathroom. So I think we're definitely going to include some curtains, and I'm just gonna say that right off the bat instead of, you know, including clutter on that little area. Oh my gosh. Why is this? Just don't do that. Okay, so So with that being said, let's find some curtains that could fit this window really well.
One eternity later.
This actually goes all the way to the bottom, but my concern is like, where's the bar that goes all the way across if I'm using this tall legendary curtain? The only things that come up. What if I searched curtain rod? Shut the front door. Oh, they are smart enough. Okay. It's a bit challenging to place, but at least there's curtains that look like they can be moved. Like, that's the part that I like. Okay, that seems okay. Okay. Okay, girl, we did it. That was crazy. Got the basics, we've got mirrors. I know I said rugs are really not my thing in bathrooms, and I'm like, I'm such a liar. Like, we've got mats in the bathroom, like a bath mat, right? But like, not carpet. That's crazy, okay? I'm not naming names. The, God, what is it called? I'm not Lily Allen and that ex of hers that had carpet all throughout their bathroom. Like, that was unsanitary in my mind. I mean, I don't know how often you use that bathroom, but I assume it's not just for aesthetic purposes, right? So anyway, let's get some plants in here. Let's see what else is part of this bathroom section. Okay, so we've got accents. Yes, I will hang some toilet paper very neatly. Oh my God, but it's facing away. Like, that's awkward, isn't it? Like, I'm just picturing grabbing a roll, like grabbing a little, granted, we don't use toilet paper, we have a bidet, but this, I sound so fancy. We have a bidet. It's a tushy bidet, okay? Don't get too crazy. But I'm just thinking, I'm like, this is facing the wrong way. It's, you know, that's weird. Again, we're getting into crazy territory. I'm not gonna let it bother me. We're just not. It's, you know, we have more pressing matters, okay? We really do. This is not the biggest issue. Okay, cool. Glad we have that out of the way. Rich people don't have toothpaste out. I'm picturing that this is like a rich person that lives here. They have it somewhere in a cubby, right? So we're not gonna be adding any of that. But I am going to add some towels, some bathrobes. Ooh, yes. Look at this bathrobe. It's so nice. I don't think these are actually usable in the game, but they are very, very nice. That's another thing that would bug me, is like hardware that is misaligned unless it's purposeful, like intentional. Then I'm like, what? You know, what were you doing? Have you ever seen those photos where like the door goes into the toilet? I'm like, who designed this? Who, like, what? Oh my God, I'm moving that rug again. Oh my gosh, this rug is gonna be the end of me. It is going, are you joking me right now? I wish you could lock items in The Sims. Like, can that be a feature? Since the toilet's a portal, I don't wanna mess with the portal, so I'm not gonna put candles on top of the portal, but I'm thinking up here might be nice. This is looking really, really good so far. Oh my gosh, I just remembered those moss rugs. I gotta get those in there before I forget. It's like a bath mat. It's so beautiful. You can feel like you're standing on a bed of moss while you're washing your hands. And for this green one, I'm thinking about sizing it down, seeing how small it can get, and just having it here for when you walk out of the shower. No. No! It's cursed. Okay. I mean, maybe I can sneak it a little bit more in the corner. Okay. We have our one more time and walk through. Okay, it actually looks good. Okay, that's great. It's challenging. It's definitely a little bit more challenging working with this height of walls because I feel like there's so much headroom that you have to consider, and I feel like I always want to fill in the space up here because it looks so bare. Like it just looks like there's not much going on, you know? Let me show you around the bathroom, okay? So we've got some beautiful cherry blossoms that I've added into the top of the shower. They're actually lights, so that's really cool. They function as both. We've got some plants in there. We've got the moss mat, and of course the artwork. We've got some of those lights up here on the wall as well, along with our mushroom type light. Now that I'm seeing it, I'm like, oh, the mushroom light is like hitting the plants. So maybe having it kind of in between the sinks kind of makes sense. There we go. And yeah, we've got our, the last thing I want to add in here is let's search up mushroom and see what comes up, because I feel like nothing comes up. Really? Is this a joke? Mushroom staircase. That's it? That's what comes up? Okay, I guess we can include this little mushroom staircase by the toilet. Let's see if I can actually give you a tour with the proper view. So bring this down. Let's see if it'll actually let me, okay? We're going in. We're going in. Oh, there's a plant sticking out of the wall. Whoops. That's okay. We're not gonna focus on that. Oh my gosh, look at this. You can even see the artwork in the mirror. That's kind of trippy. So we've got our candles. It's very cozy in here. We've got our little tree. There's a fig tree in the corner. We've got lots of greenery and plants. And then on the other side, when we come in through the window, we can see the shower area. There's definitely some lights up there in the shower. I'm still learning on how to, I know people edit the ceiling. I don't know how to do that. I think I need to get in really close and look up. I don't know if there's a way for me to look up any more than I already am. Okay, so I've gone in and I've actually fixed up that area and added a painting. There's also a little book nook there. Let me see if I can zoom in for you. Yeah, we've got a little book nook with, and of course the theme was pastel goth. So I really wanted to tie in some of the pink books that are in there, get a dragon on there, and there's also candles to tie the room together with some plants. I did keep the top up here open. Also, in my adventure of furnishing this little area, this rug is really just, oh my god, it's crazy. Look at this. My hand is over here and it's selecting it. That's crazy. Anyway, in my adventure in furnishing and decorating this little area, I found this pink peacock that I thought was perfect for the living room. I know it's not quite pastel, but I'm just like, you know what? Who cares? It's perfect. It's the most pastel color we have, and it fits really well. Now, before we do a house tour, I totally forgot that there's this entryway section, and I mean, there's not much going on here as of the moment, and I can't actually use these curtains for this window because they don't fit properly on this window. So I'm wondering if we should spin again, spin the wheel again. Honestly, I'm a little terrified. So hopefully the aesthetics blend well together because I don't really want to change up the wall paneling. So let's go give it another shot and see what comes up. Again, if it's like really crazy, we're just not going to do it and I'll just figure something out. But I really am manifesting like an aesthetic that would work well. Even if it's colorful, that's totally fine. But I really want it to be, you know, like maybe acid pixie goth or like something like that, like to make sure that I can actually do the entryway properly. And then I can give you a full tour of the house. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh, it's on C's. Cartoon core. Are you kidding? This sounds like it's not gonna fit at all. Oh my God, this is bringing nostalgia. Cartoon core aesthetic. Cartoon core aesthetic decor. Let's see what comes up. I saw this and I know that it's not quite cartoon core, but like this is definitely an aesthetic that I could work with for the front. Let's see. It's very kind of happy, kind of out there, very colorful. I might be able to get away with this like Studio Ghibli vibe. I don't know if this is, oh, it is AI modified, okay. So maybe something like that for the entryway. I'm gonna figure something out, okay? Like I'm gonna figure something out where I can use this aesthetic and for it not to completely take over. I'm gonna keep the same paneling just because we're working with a really small space and there's not really much more I can do in this area. I mean, it's a decent amount of space, but I was thinking maybe there could be a table here where they could put their keys. First, I'm going to pick the curtains.
5 hours later.
I feel like that's too many birds in the house. Same time, I'm like, well, we're already here. We're at Cartoon Core. Let's just get crazy. Yeah, okay. I mean, it's happening, whether we like it or not. Let's see if there's an entryway table that I can add in there because I'm picturing a table on either under here or on one of the sides. This house would be really great for somebody who has a lot of different aesthetics, who wants to enjoy them. Like, I think that's really fantastic. I might make this into like a smaller, I don't know if it's gonna be a seating area. I'm not quite sure. Let's see if there's a different color for here. There is pink, but I think I'm gonna go orange just because we don't have anything orange in this area. I'm going to move the thermostat to this side. There's also like an end table like this. That's really kind of cool. Could look cool if there was a few of them, like if we were able to make a table. But what if this was like a little table? You know, like when you come home, there's some kind of clutter you leave by the door in a bowl or something like that. Fun fact, that is an ADHD hack I learned from an ADHD interior designer on YouTube. She's like, if you're annoyed with your partner, you like if they keep dropping things in the same spot, instead of telling them that you don't like that, or you know, especially if you've got kids or many family members or you live in a big household where it's just like multiple people doing the same thing, then instead of having those conversations with them over and over again, because people are like habitual, they really are, she suggested to put a bowl, and changed my life. It really did, until they find another spot and you're like, oh God, then I have to put another bowl. I'm picturing those rubber boots as like a vase. So I'm gonna see if I can put some plants in there because I feel like that would be quite camp. I think that's the biggest thing I'm getting for this like cartoon core, is that it's a little bit camp, it's a little bit out there. I'm like, maybe it's like two people that live here that have a different aesthetic and they wanted to combine their aesthetics, or it's just like the one guy that lives here and, you know, just couldn't decide what the aesthetic would be. It's okay, we all have those days. I sometimes can't decide what aesthetic I want. Sometimes I just, I have those moments. Okay, I've got some decorations up. I want to see what else I can add to this shelf. and just make it a little bit more cartoon core while still keeping the original paneling that we had. Let's see what kind of plants we can find that would give a little bit more of that aesthetic. This one's nice. This one's always really nice. Add a little wreath at the top. This is where I'll have to figure out if this plant is going to want to sit up here or not. This whole house is like a mixture of aesthetics. Like there really is just a lot going on. Whoever lives here clearly knows what they're doing. Okay, a different green. I think that's good. My AC sounds like an airplane taking off. 1 second. Okay, so we have this little camp area. Oh yeah, I wanted to put plants in the shoes. Like, I'll see if I can. I don't know, that doesn't do a really good job of like hiding it. We'll save that one for now. Ooh, this vase almost fits perfectly. Okay, there's our camp shoes. Love that. Okay, and then I feel like this entryway could honestly use a rug. We said there would be a dog here, so maybe a pet bed could go in this area somewhere. Okay, maybe it doesn't have to be an egg. Let's see what else there is. Oh, a lemon. That's so cute. There's also like, or I think it's a ravioli. We'll go with that because that's probably the most cartoon core thing. This isn't looking as bad as I thought it would. Like honestly, for a moment there, I really was freaking out. I was like, this is gonna look crazy. Ooh, this could work because it's leaning against. It comes in pink. Okay, we're gonna revert that because the control freak in me is like, oh my god, make it gold. But it's okay. That works fine. And then I want to get a rug in here just so that it's not, you know, just a weird space. This is the same rug that's in the living room, just a different color. It literally looks like there's 2 different types of people living here. You really can have it all. You can have all the different types of aesthetics. Honestly, this style of decor, if I had to combine like my 2 personalities, this would actually be very similar to that, but like more closely to this area right here. Like this is just like dopamine crazy and I love it so much. That's it. I'm gonna call it. You guys, we are done building this house. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Let's do a little tour. The outside, we got cozy core. Cozy core for the outside, and it is so stinking cute. If you'd like a tour of the outside, check out my last video. You can get acquainted there. But yeah, let's start where it all started, and it actually all started upstairs. So let me give you a little tour with what was done upstairs and how it looks. First of all, this was crazy because we got like a couple of different aesthetics going on, and the first one, I don't remember what this one was, but it was something goth. This is the bedroom I designed for woodland goth. Oh my god, you can see it through the window. That's so cute. This is the bedroom I designed for woodland goth. As you can see, it's really challenging to move the camera around in here, but we've got all of the beautiful kind of woodland creature aesthetic as I'm trying to get into the bedroom. Hold on. Bedroom I designed for woodland goth. This was our first spin after we did the exterior of the house, and I think this room came together beautifully. Like, I love the faux Sherpa rug and kind of the gothic details coming through with some of the artwork and the frames and the lights and the curtains even. And then we've got some really cool artwork on the wall right here, which really speaks to the woodland side of things. You know, they're let me see if I can show you the artwork. Perhaps if I switch the direction. No, it won't even let me do that. Okay, so we've got some woodland type artwork. I really love this one with the frog. Also, this like root reminds me of the crying ones from Harry Potter. Even though I really have a nostalgic feel for that series, JK Rowling is not someone we support on this channel. So if you're rah-rah for JK, then you can get off my channel. But if you're not, then stick around. Then we created this really beautiful hallway. I really love how this hallway turned out. We've got the dresser on the right here with these gothic chandeliers and candles everywhere. If you're noticing that the flames are off the candles, it's because I shrunk the lights in the game, and so sometimes when you shrink things in the game, they just like don't work properly. But it's okay. That's for the Sims team to figure out. I had so much fun building this room. As we walk through here, we are met with two doors. This one goes out into the entryway. This goes into the bathroom. And yeah, I just, let me show you what this looks like from above. So we've got the bedroom here with the bed and all of the artwork. And there's even a witchy type of like bookcase there, which I really love. There's some herbs hanging on the wall. You can see a lot more details this way. And there's a really cool, see if I can zoom in. I really love the basket. It's definitely giving me like Y2K goth / emo vibes for some reason. Still some artwork on the walls. I focused a lot on the woodland and nature aspect. And then as we walk down here again, I really love those chandeliers and the case there. So the next aesthetic that we had was weirdcore. And that's where I built this absolutely insane bathroom. I don't even know what to say, but we've got this weirdcore bathroom. We walk in, the floors literally look like a swimming pool floor. We've got some cracker rugs happening in here, some artwork on the walls. I'm gonna see if I can actually take you into the room so you can check it out. Like, there's a calendar in the bathroom. I don't know, maybe you're tracking your cycle. Then through that separate room, there's the bathtub. Through here is the bathtub. Like, this is insane. Look at this. There's plants, let me take you through the view from up top. Like, that looks crazy, right? But it's also so fun and so cool. Like, we've got the hearts, the neon heart lights on the walls. We've got this really cool bath mat right under the bathtub. Then you hop into this section. You've got tons of graffiti and decals and drawings on the walls. And yeah, it's just superbly weird. It is definitely falling under the category of weirdcore. Then the next room that we did was the room beside this one, and the aesthetic that we got was rainy day aesthetic, which I had to look up because in my brain I was like, okay, I kind of know what that looks like, but I also didn't want to assume anything. So this is our rainy day aesthetic room. Let me see if I can close all this stuff so that you can see more of the screen. Oh, my sim is very angry, as you can tell. So yeah, the rainy day aesthetic on Pinterest showed up as like lots of books, which we have up there closer to the ceiling. It also showed up as kind of a darker aesthetic, very similar to the goth, the woodland goth. So on the other side of the room where the bed is, we've got some more books. We've got tons and tons of artwork. It's just a very cozy aesthetic, cozy feel. I feel like this is a really great guest bedroom because there's only a single bed in here. And of course that, you know, part of the aesthetic was having these large windows so you can just storm watch. I didn't end up switching out the windows. I just kept what we had. Because that was part of the cozy core aesthetic, but we still managed to get the bed close to the window. Then going in from this side, could have been a person that really liked not only books, but to be able to spend time indoors. And so I just noticed there's like nothing on this shelf right here. Hold on. Okay, there we go. We've got some added clutter in there. But yeah, I definitely didn't think that this was, I kind of got a really homey, homey type vibe, like a homebody vibe with the rainy day aesthetic. And so I really wanted this room to feel cozy, a space where you can spend a lot of your time in. Let me show you what this looks like from the top. So from the top, this room is probably one of my favorites if I was in a real like introvert mood. Like we've got the rainfall inspired lanterns, like the lights, the chandeliers, sorry, and we've got some cloud lights in here as well. Really nice small closet with tons and tons of books. We've got some string lights, and I think one of my favorite parts is just like the amount of books that are up here, all in very organized, like different colors, and I really like that. So we filled it up with plants. There's some mirrors so you can even see the rain when you're working on your computer. And I'm noticing there's some crazy things happening on this desk right here, so I'm just gonna remove that plant. I don't really know what was going on there. But I just think it's such a cool concept to be able to think like while you're working you can watch the rain, or while you're being creative, you know, maybe you're a content creator. And yeah, so this was a really cool room to work on. Let's check out the next aesthetic, which is for the bathroom, which I believe we got psychedelic. I didn't even look this up on Pinterest because I was like, okay, I know this aesthetic very well. The 70s is probably one of my favorite types of eras when it comes to aesthetic. And so let's check out the bathroom that goes with rainy day. Again, very like polar opposite compared to the aesthetic of the room itself. I know it's a little hard to tell from this angle, but I actually incorporated the rainfall lantern in here as well and combined two lights. And then we've got a really cool mirror on the side. There's these lights on the side that, let me see if I can kind of show you. This might be the best angle. This is probably the closest I can get in there. But you've got this really cool mirror. Then you've got these star lights, which are probably some of my favorites. I didn't even know that they existed in the game. There are some beach towels. This is also a kind of light in the game. And then a flowery ironing board that matches the aesthetic well. And that was the only toilet that was like lime green and hot pink, so I went with that. And we've got some CDs on the wall. So yeah, and this is what it looks like from above. I totally forgot about the psychedelic type rug. So yeah, this is the best I could do with the psychedelic type room. And you know, these are really just like my two aesthetics and two personalities almost combined. It's like super nice and chic and, you know, comfy, cozy, introvert, and then the dopamine side of things where it's like, oh my God, this is it. Like if I could combine the two styles in my decor, I would. Like that's still something I'm trying to figure out. So if you have any tips, send me your tips in the comments below. But also I'm such a visual person, so send me the things via Pinterest if you have anything. And then I went in and kind of just brought all of these aesthetics into the entryway. So these are the stairs coming down. Let's see if I can actually get into this room so that you can see it. It is in the middle, so it might be a little bit easier to get into. Haha. So we're in the stairwell. Hold on. We're in the stairwell. No, hold on. We're in the stairwell now. And yeah, so I combined kind of a little bit. We have this jellyfish here for the psychedelic type aspect, or like the weird core, bringing a bit of that in there. And I wanted to combine the rainy day and the woodland goth together. So you're seeing that come together here. We've got lanterns in there. Let me see if I could switch this up so you can see the other side. So this is the other side. This is the side where no one's going to be walking. I'll show you in a minute what I mean, but we've got some plants in there to contribute to the woodland goth side of things. We've got some really cozy artwork, some tree and plant and flower based artwork. There's a map on the wall, and incorporating that coziness with the candles and all the lanterns. And I was kind of picturing this entryway being, and a lot of the house kind of looks like, you know, somebody who travels a lot just was able to kind of gather these little things along the way during their travels, and they came by. I'm just struggling. I can't talk. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Yeah, somebody who was traveling and collected all these things along the way. And it's wanting to take me downstairs, but I'm going to do my best to just be in this room. So yeah, and then there's these cool little rugs in front of each door. And again, complementary to that kind of like weird psychedelic aesthetic. I've got some rose petals. There's a skull under this guitar, which kind of is giving very much Coco vibes, if you have seen that animation. And then I've got the color through this Mexican blanket as well. Also, I don't know if that's the proper term, so let me know if that's not the proper term, and what the proper term is. So yeah, I was kind of picturing that there's maybe a musician that lives here. I'm actually curious if it'll take us downstairs. If I don't know. I don't use this camera often. No, it doesn't. It just kind of bounces around. Okay, and the next aesthetic that we were working with, this is going to be a little easier to work with. Okay, so the next aesthetic that we were working with is Baroque, which is this very elegant Bridgerton type aesthetic, and we did the kitchen. So this is what the kitchen turned out like. I really wanted a little seating area, so you've got that going on. There's bar stools, but there's also this nice two-person seating area with tea. Of course, they drink a lot of tea. I drink a lot of tea, and that was something that I wanted to include in the house. I feel very fancy watching Bridgerton, and I want to dress like them while I watch the show. Let's see if I'm able to give you a more... This is actually easier to give a proper tour this way in live mode. Why didn't I try this out before? Anyway, let's see if I can take you through... So this is coming in from the bathroom and the hallway on the other side. We've got some plants on the side. I really love how this turned out. This whole kitchen is just screaming like elegance, but also cute and cozy. I really like how it turned out. When we come in from the outside in, you're kind of getting a little bit of the elegance, but also this very crazy aesthetic back there, which we have just finished. So yeah, that was the next aesthetic that we did, and that was for the kitchen. And then we got pastel goth for the living room. So let's go check out the living room. So this is the living room. I would say this is very pastel goth. Like, it fits the aesthetic really, really well. We've got some gothic elements with the candles up top. Then we've got, you know, the beautiful pastel couches and seats. I think it's a love seat, actually. And then tons and tons of pastel decor mixing Victorian with modern, like a little pink statue from New York or your travels or wherever. And then I was kind of picturing that the artwork on the walls is, you know, maybe their ancestors who've traveled far and wide. These are the people that owned the house a long time ago, and there's kind of a record of that, which is really cool. I was also picturing that this person really liked learning, perhaps about anatomy or you know, the world around them. So there's this gothic style book, which I think in the game is actually like a spellcaster book. So maybe that's how they turn into a spellcaster. I don't know. But yeah, then we have this cute little reading corner. And I brought the two aesthetics into here to kind of bring that into the hallway that leads into the bathroom because I didn't want it to be too different. So we've got, you know, the really nice pastel books in there. It's really nice that there's different swatches for the same bookshelf, and then maybe this is kind of an inspiration of what they want their house to look like, or maybe this is just an old drawing of one of their favorite ancient pieces of architecture, and maybe that's where they get a lot of their interior ideas from, is just different parts of interior design. Even the stairs, like the stairs are probably the only thing that don't really match the house, but I'm kind of okay with it because they are vintage. Maybe it's the original staircase, or this tile came from some of the tile that was used in the original property and they rebuilt the stairs in it. Like, I just think that's such a cool concept. So yeah, that's the living room area. So next we did the bathroom, and the bathroom we got goblin core, which I was kind of excited about because I was like, I don't know what to expect with this. Like, I know goblins are different than the trolls, but I was definitely picturing like a troll under the bridge. But still that very much like Scotland, Ireland, English type scenery with lots of hills, more hills than people, you know. And so this is what we created for the goblin core bathroom. You can see it from the outside here coming in. It's beautiful. Don't worry, there are curtains and there is definitely moss and tons of plants. I did my best covering the window, okay? It wasn't my finest piece of work putting a massive window in here like this, but it's just how it turned out because we built the interior afterwards. And so let me show you what this looks like outside of live mode, just because it's a little bit easier to get into because the bathroom's so small. So yeah, we've got these really beautiful sinks in here. The sinks are actually peacocks. Oh no, I just grabbed the window. Hold on. I think that's the challenging part about viewing this in... hold on. Okay, so there we go. So goblin core is basically an aesthetic where it's loving things that are not normally normalized. You know, loving animals and creatures like beetles, nature, and trees and moss and fungi. Things that are not normalized by society. And so I really love that idea. And coming into the bathroom, we created this really fun aesthetic. We've got some fungi there right by the toilet. We've got, or should I call it the throne, because it's a portal technically. Then we've got tons and tons of plants and nature. If I zoom out a little bit, you'll see that there's candles at the top there. I made sure to include a lot of nature elements when it came to the artwork. So there's a lot of that going on. Let's see if I can show you the other side. And I feel like the big window actually speaks to goblin core a little bit. So we've got this beautiful moss mat, which I'm noticing now. I'm like, is this floating? Is this floating? Is this a joke right now? I think it was floating. Hold on. It is totally floating. I'm like, how do I bring it back to not float? I think it's recognizing. I'm like, what is even happening? Sometimes The Sims just has like glitches that you can't fix until you restart the game. It is totally floating. I might have to delete this rug because it's not fitting. Okay, is it fitting there? Is it still floating? The fun part about giving you the tour, I'm like, oh, the rug's floating. Hold on, give me a minute. think it's still floating. I can see a shadow. Let me see. It's still floating. Like, it doesn't float here, but as soon as you start kind of creeping up there, that's where it starts floating. You know what? I think it's probably partially this window is creating that. But I wonder if I made it a little bit bigger. There we go. I think that's okay. We're just gonna have to live with that. Oh, I just noticed I totally forgot to add like a little trash bin in the bathroom. So let me see if I can find one. It's kind of like sometimes I'll watch like Sid Mac or somebody else. I love watching content creators on YouTube. I do it quite a lot, I would say. I consume a lot of content. Sometimes that's not the thing that I want to admit most. But it is something that I enjoy. Like, I find that I get a lot of ideas, not necessarily like stealing ideas from creators, but like spinning the wheel idea, right? Like, I got that idea from content creators. But anyway, sometimes I laugh when content creators like forget something and it's something important like a fridge or something like that. And then everybody in the comments is like, you forgot the fridge. Oh my God. Ha ha ha. And like when you don't catch it, right? Like sometimes I'll build something and I just don't catch it. Like I built an entire house and I didn't realize until the very end there was like no bathroom. Anyway, enough about me. Actually, you'll probably see that as one of the builds. I think I'm going to include the trash bin on this side, and hopefully that doesn't interfere too much with anything else, just because maybe I can make it a little bit smaller. Just because I don't see there being space anywhere else for it. All right, and then of course our very last, that rug is going to be the end of me. Hold on. Our last room that we did is, let me get there. I selected the free camera. Oh no, how do I get out? I don't know how to use the free camera. It freaks me out. Okay, there we go. Okay, the last aesthetic that we selected was cartoon core, and honestly, I was terrified for this. I'm like, how is this supposed to look good beside the very elegant living room that we created and the kitchen? But you know what? It's what we got, so it's what we worked with. And I think it actually turned out really cute. Like, I'm enjoying the fact that I put these two end tables together and created something unique out of that. I also really like this whole little tiny section of like, there's shoes, there's tons of clutter. It's definitely the messier section, and maybe this is just how they want to feel good when they come into the house. So they've got this cool creative section, and it kind of, I feel like this peacock serves as a divider between the crazy section and, or like the dopamine section. Not crazy in a bad way. Come on, like I love that section. Anyway, between that section and this section. So anyway, let's take a zoom out and just a moment for this entire build. I honestly, doing this, I have so much respect for content creators that do this, because this, when I tell you that this has taken me multiple days, probably like 4 days, not whole days, and at least 4 hours a day, you know, adding in all the little nooks and crannies and adding in all of the, just all the pieces to this. I had so much fun working on this, and I just want to thank you for being on this journey with me. And if you struggle with ADHD or OCD, let me know if this video was helpful, or if this is a way that you could see yourself getting out of, you know, headspaces like control. Like, you definitely witnessed me during this video try to control some things or be a little bit indecisive, and I don't know, I just feel like this was a really fun thing. So thank you for coming on this journey with me and creating this house together. I really had a lot of fun, and it was really nice to step out of, having that control and having a wheel that would make all the decisions for you, basically, aesthetic wise. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you again next time. If you haven't yet, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel. I teach a lot on learning about ADHD and OCD here as well. I have also been a coach for some time. So for me to be able to connect with you on this level is so, so cool, and connect with others just like you.